What's up, traders? My name is Heath, and this is Trade Talk. It is Sunday. The market has opened, and it is time for the Forex Weekly Outlook. So if you guys could kindly just let me know in the comment or in the chat if you can see my screen and hear my voice. So thank you. With that, we're going to start off with the JXY, which is the Japanese Yen Currency Index. So essentially, basically what I'm looking for on this is we did get a breakout and it has broke below 95.5. Now, as you can see, this is a daily chart and it has really gappy price action. So essentially it is the yen currency index, just like the DXY index. It has gaps. This thing only trades from 8 a.m. in the morning, New York Eastern Standard Time, to 4 or 5, I think, in the afternoon. So that's why you get these gaps. Now, in Friday's trading, we gapped below this main traditional area of support, also dropping below this ascending trend line right here. So this was basically a channel, and it has been in this channel for a very long time. Since we had the scare back in March, or the people call it a scare, I call it what it simply is, which is a liquidity purge on both sides of the market. You can see that the range was tightening up as it was moving in an upward manner. So basically breaking out of that range. So moving forward this week, I am looking for potential yen weakness. So anything trading against the yen could possibly be strong. All right, so that's what I'm going to look for. However, I'm not just going to get long on the euro yen or the US dollar yen or any of those yen pairs yet, because I want to see a retest of this trend line. So we're not going to be able to see that on the yen index until it opens up tomorrow. But we can get an idea as to how the yen is trading just by simply watching yen pairs. All right, so you can see right here, this is the opening pop for the market, and you have a nice bullish candle. So that's going to be expected. What I want to look for, though, is I definitely want to see a pullback on all these things that traded up pretty hard last week, like the US dollar, for instance. I want to see things pull back. I don't think that the US dollar versus the Japanese yen is the best currency to watch. That will possibly, well, we don't know which one's going to be the strongest, but we definitely want to, if we're going to take a trade looking for yen weakness, we want to take the trade on the base currency that has the most strength. Let me just check over. What's up, everybody? Brandon's in the house. Everybody, glad you guys can make it. We're going to look at these pairs and we're going to see where we can find some opportunities for the week to come. All right, so back to what I was saying. The euro yen was very strong on Friday. Basically, it's due to yen weakness. That breakdown is something I've been watching for a very long time. I absolutely was looking for it to break out to the upside for yen strength, but we have weakness, which is good because that also implies a risk on sentiment. Yen and Swiss franc are generally looked at as risk off assets. So if there's any fear in the markets, these things usually catch a bid, but it's definitely not catching a bid. So my main focus going on into this week is going to be trying to find those yen pairs that I can capitalize going down or going up. Apologies. So moving on, we're going to take a look at the euro USD. Before I do that, Asgard brought up a question in the Discord community this morning, talking about the DXY index. Should we follow that, or should we look at the US dollar, which is essentially an index that's tracked by FXCM? So if I just do this real quick, I'll basically give you an idea as to what you can look for. I do look at both the US dollar and the DXY. The DXY is heavily weighted in the euro. So it's about 56 or 57%. I can't remember exactly which. So that is why the DXY likes to trade almost inverse to the US or euro USD. It is inverse, but it's not 100% inverse. So basically, whatever direction the dollar's going, you can look to do the opposite on the euro USD. Now, the US dollar index tracked by FXCM is it's basically weighted evenly amongst the majors: euro, pound, Aussie, CAD, and not CAD, but Aussie, pound, euro, and yen, I think. So basically, it's 25% weighted to each one of those pairs or each one of those currencies. So you will see difference in the way that it moves. And it also is like basically the same thing. If I put this on a daily, I will show you what I'm talking about. All right, so here you can see, all right, this thing is open. The DXY won't open for another hour or two. I'm just going to put your attention right here on this spike up. See, on the DXY, it was basically a shooting star candlestick formation, or an evening star, apologies, which simply implies reversal in the dollar. Now, you did get that. It did have that play, but it has come back since to test that candle. So, and also this on the DXY index closed red. This is the same candle right here on the US dollar index. And you can clearly see that this one closed bullish. All right. So basically, does that mean which one of these should you watch? It doesn't matter, because the reason that this closed bullish and this closed bearish was because of the weightings from the other currencies. All right. So a lot of traders will look at the US dollar index, this one over here, basically because they feel or they assume it gives them a better direction, a better directional bias, because it is evenly weighted throughout the majors. And it absolutely can. I mean, I look at it a lot too. Currently, you can see we are having some dollar strength. We have gapped up over this resistance. This is the last candle closing on this asset up here at 11,730, all right, which is this white line here, or 11,729, my apologies. So we are trading above that currently, which will signify dollar strength. But it's Sunday, more importantly, and it's not even the Asian session yet. So basically we have to wait. This is anything that happens tonight could basically just be fake outs or shakeouts. We don't know. I haven't seen any massive news this weekend that would, dictate dollar strength, but I do know one thing. Everybody is short on this, and if it starts to trade higher and make higher market structures closing daily candles above, there is an absolute possibility to have a short squeeze, and you can run up pretty far. All right, so from now, we're just going to look at the DXY, as that's the one that most everybody uses. So basically, the level that I'm watching is 91 right here at 91. Let me put a line on it so I can get the exact line. This is the last market structure swing high. We haven't closed anything up beyond this last shooting star candle or this range up here. So that top end of that range is 91.087. We start getting daily closures above that, then there is a possible short squeeze imminent or incoming. I mean, this to pattern traders looks like an inverse head and shoulders. I mean, it's not exactly an inverse head and shoulders, but it's possibly good enough. So people are going to possibly be looking for this thing to break the neckline and move higher. And if you get that, obviously, you're going to be looking to short the Euro USD. Now, the Euro USD isn't showing us much strength. I absolutely thought this thing was going to roll over the other day. It did not. Once we got that news, that print came out that beat expected numbers, this thing took up off out of there and basically closed lower. So we tested this market structure swing low right here, but we closed below it. So that signifies a bit of weakness. We will have to wait and see what happens on this asset. But moving forward, I'm going to give you some levels to watch. All right. This is going to be your first swing low area to watch at 1.20997. This swing low right here. So, and the swing high is this one right here. And I'll just delineate that by this line right there at 1.21809. All right. This is an old level. I'm going to get rid of that. So this is going to be your weekly range. All right. Until you either break out to the downside or break out to the upside. Currently, it's looking like the dollar is shaping up to possibly move higher. I don't know that it's going to go higher, but my bias is slightly on the dollar moving higher this week. But if it changes around, if we get a bid under euro and it starts moving higher, I will absolutely look to long Euro USD, as its main structure or its longer term structure is bullish still. All right. You are still bullish on this asset until you start closing 8-hour candles below 1.20660, which is this last swing low here. You get that and you're possibly moving lower. The next first area that I would look for would be 1.19853. So essentially, if it appears that the dollar is going to remain strong and we're going to be looking at euro for weakness or looking to short the euro versus the dollar, this is going to be a weekly range expansion target. So moving forward, I'll jump into the weekly just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. So we made this weekly swing low. Last week, we tested that area and traded up. So remember what I said, these wicks don't necessarily signify bullishness on a bearish candle. It could simply be a retest. All right, so price pushes down, tests this area, and then goes back in for lower high support or resistance for the move down. And if we get that, this is going to be the first area that's going to cause trouble, this 1.20801 level. But I believe we will take up out of there, as this week wasn't a complete inside week because we did wick down lower than this, but it is an inside, the body traded inside this candle's body, and same with this weekly candle here. So you have essentially 2 weeks that have done absolutely nothing. This thing has been range bound. All right, but we can capitalize on range bound movements as well. We don't generally like to, I like to look for the daily range expansion, and for a swing trade, the weekly range expansion. What's up, Jay Bradley? Evening, Heath. Evening, Dylan. Ryan Van. What's up, everybody? I'm glad you guys could make it. Let's get into this. All right, so moving forward, the euro, we're going to watch to see if we get some weakness. If we do, I will be looking to trade this thing to the short side tomorrow, targeting this wick down here would be my target. All right, if we get a break above this narrow trend line here, it's just a very small one from this high to this high. If we get a break above that on an 8-hour closing basis and don't immediately reject, I will be looking for support to hold, and I will be targeting this high up here on that wick at 1.21896. All right, so my first targets on the bear side, 1.20585. First target on the bullish side, 1.21896. All right, our USD JPY, we have broken out of this. You know, it's basically the exact opposite pattern that you've seen on the JXY earlier. We had a strong move out of there. All right, we have closed an 8-hour candle above this market structure swing high here. So the next one is this one, and then obviously this one up here. So this thing is structured to the bullish side. So as long as we come down and test this area here, let me get rid of this line real quick. We test this area here at 104.288 and show that as a possible support. All right, then I will look to get long, targeting this wick high up here at 105.138. All right, now this swing high right here also almost coincides with this level here. So that would be a valid area to look for support hold. So I'm not doing anything up here. I'm not shorting this. I'm waiting for a pullback in price. Then I will then assess what I want to see, what's happening, what's taking place around this area. If this thing just keeps moving higher, that's just a trade you miss. Get used to it. It's going to happen frequently. All right. Pound dollar. Pound dollar has been trading inside of a range. Let me get over here to the daily. Let me do this. Let's get rid of all these levels. All right, so it's been trading in a range. You can see here that essentially for 2 weeks, we haven't done anything at all in the pound except for make lows and highs and just wick everybody out. If I go into a smaller time frame chart and scrunch it up, you can see that it has gone nowhere. All right, it's a frustrating market to trade right now, but you are up on highs, so you definitely don't want to buy this. You want a stronger pullback to liquidate any stops, and then look for a support hold to get long if your bias is long on the pound. We can go look real quick at the euro pound, because that's how I gauge the strength between the euro or the pound. I want to take the trade against the dollar in whichever direction, whether I'm bullish or bearish. I will trade the dollar pairings, but by looking at the euro pound, you can essentially get a gauge as to which of those two currencies would best be suited to take an entry position on Euro USD or Pound USD. So if the pound is stronger and this is moving down, I will look for entries on the pound. If this is stronger, it's moving up, I will look for entries on the euro, if that makes sense. All right. So basically on pound dollar, we're waiting for this thing to break up out of this range. It is a small, tight daily range. The top area of the range is 1.37362. The last swing low made was 1.36755, this area here. So as long as you're trading within this, there is no trade. All right, there is no trade. Just because it moves up here doesn't necessarily mean it's a short opportunity, but you can trade it however you see fit. If it gets back up here, there's a good chance that it's going to break out. All right, as long as your risk is mitigated, I don't see any reason why you can't take range bound trades. It's just not my style. I look for daily range expansions. I mean, I guess if it's holding support, let's just wait and see what happens. It's definitely range bound. I want to see it break out of the range either which way, and then I can look to take positions on that. So basically, I covered the metals yesterday as far as silver and gold, but I'll go ahead and go over them real quick. Essentially, I have this trend line coming in from the high that was put in on August the 7th, right here. All right, from 2020 to this high here at January the 6th. And then this is just basically taken from down here to here, and we're trading within that. So that is your overall range, and it is shaped in a pennant pattern or a triangle, whatever you want to call it. So how do we trade this moving forward? Well, you want to see support hold at the first swing high that it broke out of. It does look like it did come back down and retest that area and has since moved up a bit. All right, this isn't a doji candle. It's a nice, strong, trending candle as you took out the other side of this candle. So this is bullish. So moving into a smaller time frame, you can look for pullback trades if it wants to pull back. All right, the first area I would look for a support hold is going to be 26.47430, this line right here. And then ultimately this last swing high that it made before it broke out. Now this, if it breaks out of here, it's going to have a nice run. Your first target is obviously going to be this wick high here at 27.92720. So basically, if you pull back down into this level here and you hold a support, you can target that area for your first scale out. And then ultimately this high up here would be your next longer range, longer term target on silver. It is more constructive than gold. I do like it. I am watching this pair. I do have calls on XLV or SLV. I'm sorry. I do have a few calls on that, but I just bought them a long time out because I am expecting this to break out to the upside. XAU USD. And my risk is defined, by the way, on those calls. If I lose every cent that I bought them with, I'm okay with that. Less than 1% of the total account's equity. So gold looks bad. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It's overall in the longer term, it's bullish. It's definitely structured to the bullish side, but you can't seem to get out of this range. The top end of that range is 1874.37, and the low end of that range is 1828.97. I want to see this out of this range before I'm going to look for bullish or bearish entries on gold. I do believe, looking at a weekly chart, it's possible that we're going to get that move this week, as the last 3 weeks you've been trading range bound. Now you're coming off of a big down weekly closing candle, so this could simply be a pullback, and shorters are going to look as this as resistance test and a resistance hold, and they are going to be looking for this thing to go lower. So that's why I want to wait to see what happens on gold. CAD Yen, we took targets out on CAD Yen last week. That was one of the first trades that I took. Basically, it's doing the same thing. It should have broken out of this range with the yen weakness that we had last week. Basically, this is your range. The top end of the range is 82.130, which is simply this last swing high here. You could even use this one if you wanted to, but it's pretty close to the same. You got a test here, and now you tested it and you held up high. All right, you see how you came down, made a test, and now you traded up higher. So it's possible that this thing is getting ready to break out of this area. If we do get a breakout of this area, that is going to probably run pretty good, because you can see we haven't traded up in these areas since this wick high up here, or not wick high, but this last high put in after the liquidity crisis. And it has been going up on the underneath side. So it looks to me like the bulls are absolutely trying to break this thing out, and sellers are basically losing their steam when they come anywhere in this area. They just don't have what it takes to push it lower, which is why I'm more leaning to the bullish side on CAD yen. Also, with the yen weakness I'm looking for, we'll see what happens. Euro yen. Euro yen was weak. Euro yen made me look like a chump a couple weeks ago, because I was looking at this to hold as support and looking for it to run up higher. All right. And it just had a strong move out of there. We got rid of all these stops down here on this move, and then we consolidated a little bit, and now we are moving higher. So it simply looks like to me that this area, all these stops were bought up, and it's moving higher. All right. I don't like it because it stung me twice already 2 weeks ago. So basically, I'm going to wait to see what this thing does. It is shaping out for a breakout. This is your last market structure swing high that you need an 8-hour candle closure above. That's 127 spot 395. Your first area to look for a support test and hold, if you're bullish, is 126 spot 486, which is simply this bearish candle here. That is also your last swing high. All right. Last swing high since you pushed up Friday. So let's watch and see what happens here. If we do get a resistance hold or a support hold here, I might be looking at this target or this thing. That's all going to dictate what the DXY does. S&P 500 was weak Friday. All right, we had this move down, then a retest. We found resistance. All right, at this swing low here, you found your resistance and you pushed lower. So far, the sellers are in control of the S&P 500, which is beautiful. That's what you want to see if you're a buyer of this thing. This is your last swing low down here. All right. So if we get down below that, anything below that is going to be looked at as a buying opportunity. This is not a massive sell-off by any stretch of the imagination. If you look at a weekly candle, yes, it is engulfing the prior bullish week. All right. But this is not bad. It's not bad at all. You've seen way worse weekly closures like this one here. Look at the size of that range put in. If you see a weekly candle that looks something like that next week, then yes, we're going to be looking to short the S&P 500. But as of right now, we were looking for long entries on this thing, especially since it's pulling back. All right, so you did take out this market structure swing high here, which was the last untested area that I was looking for a support hold. We started to get that right here with this price action, but you can see this move up was just an area for sellers to re-engage, and we have pushed down lower, making this level relevant and unrelevant and useless. This is going to be the first area I want to see a support hold. If I get a couple sessions trading around this area, I might look to get long on this, because I'm a firm believer that these things are just going to continue to go higher, but they absolutely have to come off of their highs in order for us to find opportunities to buy this. You can't buy highs. You got to buy red candles. That way you can, look to get long on this. S&P 500 is bullish. It's bullish can be. You did kind of break down below a trend line, like your more near-term trend line. Like if I throw this on here, well, no, you haven't. You haven't broke out of that yet. You are testing that. So yeah, a breakdown below here. We'll look to see a support test and hold at this next lowest market structure swing low down here. There really isn't any untested levels from any of these candles that I can give you, as prices are already trading at them. All right, so this one you can look for. It has already been tested. Like I said, it was tested with this candle and this candle. So if it's going to hold support, we'll have to wait and see. But you don't want to jump in this thing short just yet. We in the C.T.M. Conquering the Markets, we will tell you when we're going to start looking to take this thing short. If you want to look at this as a missed opportunity, you can. There's nothing wrong with missed opportunities because there's opportunities in this market every single day. Excuse me. All right, Aussie Yen. Aussie Yen looked good Friday, and then it reversed. So Aussie's not looking so hot as far as strength. All right. Even though we have yen weak strength, even though we had yen weakness, Aussie just couldn't hold up. So we traded right back down into this range, even after we broke out and had an 8-hour closure above. That indicates weakness to me. So moving forward on this, I will be looking for a resistance test of 80.274. All right. If it holds as resistance here on an hourly basis, I will look to get short on the Aussie Yen, only targeting this wick down here at 79.203. I say only targeting that because if I pull this out, this you can see is clearly a bullish move. This is consolidation. Some people will call that a bull flag or a pin-up pattern or whatever you want to call it. It could be bullish. I mean, this could just be a lower or a higher low to test for support for the next run higher. It does look weak to me currently. So currently my bias is to the downside. I am going to wait, however, for price to prove that to me by moving higher and finding resistance. All right. If we move lower and we find support right here at 79.777, if we find this area to be support and we start rolling, I will not do anything. I'm not going to buy this. All right. Because I am short term. My bias is to the downside. This will be an area for it to get up into this area to look to be met with more selling. If we break out above this area here, all right, then this will be possibly a fake out and we're going to move higher and take out these highs up here. So your bullish target, if you're bullish, is 80.928. This is going to be my first bearish target. This will be my bullish target if this area fails to hold as resistance. All right. Aussie dollar, it's weak. Anything paired against the dollar right now, if the dollar is moving higher, is going to move lower unless it's stronger than the dollar. It is possible for an asset or a currency to be stronger than the dollar, and that would cause more strength. So currently this is weak. It has closed, or no, it didn't close. This is today's candle. So, or right now's candle. There's 7 hours left on this thing. So it looks like it's testing lower. However, this is your area to watch. Remember, we wait for closures to dictate to us what's going on. Just because we get a wick down, if this thing closes above, that doesn't mean anything. It means that maybe it's finding support here, and that level 76368. All right. Now, let's find what this thing tested. Looks like it tested this level right here, close enough to it, and that was 75,883. All right. So if we get closure down on this candle, look for this area to come in as resistance and look for lower prices. This wick down could be your simple first target once it susses itself out if it wants to move lower. All right. If this thing finds support and you are bullish on Aussie dollar, your first target would be obviously this high at 77038. Your next target would be this high. All right. What would the range of that look like? Well, from current price, it's 136 pips to that high. So if we get this pullback and find resistance, let's just use the middle of the range. Your first target's 83 pips to the downside. So there is an opportunity there on both sides of this trade. NZD Yen, you can see how much different this looks than Aussie Yen. Aussie Yen looks slumpish, like it's slouching over in its seat. Meanwhile, New Zealand Yen looks nice and strong. All right. It is currently testing this swing high to see if this holds as support. It looks like it may. All right. If it does, the first target is going to be this high up here at 76 or 75.650, which is just simply this high that it made on Friday. All right. And there really isn't nothing on a near term. It has already taken out this high here. So your next high target to look for, this would be the first area to look for a resistance hold. But if it gets a nice bid under it. This will be the next target for the bulls, and that's 75,958, and that is a weekly market structure swing high. All right, so it looks good. I like it moving into next week, especially if we have yen weakness. I keep getting that word mixed up. As long as we have yen weakness, this is going to be probably on my one of my top pairs to look at for moves to the upside. What's up, Ryan? What's up, Virgia? Tom, my man, Rashid, Reg the Veg. How you guys doing? The market is open. It's time to get this money. All right, so we already looked at the dollar. Let's go take a look at pound yen, because pound yen was super strong last week. Pound yen broke out above this swing high, this market structure swing high level right here. Come on, Trading View. Do me like that. There we go. All right, so you had this area that was your last market structure swing high. You broke out above that. You came back down. You tested it. Now, you did test it 2 more times after, but you still, boom, went higher. So that was a beautiful place to look for an opportunity. Now, it would not have looked like that when this candle was pushing down and was big and red. All right, it would not have looked so much like a good spot to buy it for new traders. However, it already showed you multiple times that this area was support. Even though it wicked down below it, it means nothing. The closures matter. And you came down into this area and you closed bullish, and then you took off ever since. So this is going to be my first area to look for a resist or support hold. I understand that that is really far away from current price. So what I like to do when this happens is I go into smaller time frame charts and I find areas closer. Now this area was already tested as resist or support, and it held. So it's possible that if it does come down in here and breaks below this area and even closes below this 4-hour market structure swing low here, then this area could be the area that it wants to find support. All right. If you find support here and you cannot get back above this level, that will possibly be a short opportunity. But I just don't see that happening this week. It looks very strong to me. All right. It could be a pullback week, though. Nobody knows what price is going to do. I'm just doing my best to show you what a pro trader is looking forward to in the week ahead. And these are the areas that I'm looking for. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I can go into the other Forex pairs, but these were the best opportunities that I found. You can see that Aussie CAD was weak last week. I didn't get into this trade because of this fake out here. Once we took that low out, I never got the retest that I was looking for, so it left without me. But it's possibly going to head higher to look for an area of resistance. The first area would be this 097850 level right here. I'm not going to go through every single pair. Instead, what I am going to do is I'm going to tell you guys to drop whatever you want me to look at in the live chat, and I will absolutely take a look at that for you. All right. Let's go look at CAD yen. No, not CAD yen. Let's look at Swiss franc versus Japanese yen. I didn't look at that thing. I haven't looked at it in quite a while. All right. So with yen weakness, give me 1 second. For some reason, the comments dropped off. Great Outlook session for the week, Heath. Thanks, bro. Love your work. Thank you, Ron. Brooklyn Motto. Sup, Heath? You guys check out silver yet? Yeah, we did. I'll go back and look at it for you real quick, though. It's not a problem with me. I'm here to hang out with you guys and help you in any way that I can. Answer any question you have. I will do my best to answer it. If I can't answer it, I will simply tell you I don't know, and I will refer you to Jordan. All right. So basically on silver, what we're looking for is it looks nice and strong. We did get a resistance test of this area here, this descending trend line that I took from this high when gold was on that fantastic run. All right. I just took it from that high to this high here. We had a nice sell off, but as you can see with this lower trend line coming up underneath of it, it is forming a symmetrical triangle type of pattern. All right. So basically we want to see this break out to the upside or to the downside. It just depends on what you are. I am currently bullish on this. the way that I would not be bullish on it no more if it starts to make lower prices, obviously, and we break below this market structure swing low here. If we get that, then this is going to be a target possibly. All right. But to me, it looks like they're aiming for higher prices on this asset. All right. And also, Wall Street Bets said something about silver last week, and silver's calls were off the chain. I was watching SLV, and it was trading mad amounts of calls compared to puts last week. So it could be shaping up for a nice breakout to the upside. It looks like it is going to do that. It's shaped to do that. All right. Price looks like it can do that. We'll go and find, this was the first 8-hour market structure level that we want to see a support hold at 26.47, 430. This area here, below that, want to see a support test and hold of this area here, which is simply just this swing high on a weekly basis. XLM USD. Mr. Darren Marshall. Hi, Heath. Would you mind looking at XLM USD? Loving this channel. You are helping me see the markets in a way that I never had previously. I appreciate that. I do. I really do. I love it when you guys are learning and absolutely making stuff happen. I love it. XLM USD. Let's check this out. All right. So I covered this yesterday on the Crypto Weekly Outlook. I believe. I might not have. Let me get rid of these drawings. No, I don't know if I did. I can't remember. All right. So basically what I see here is we did break out above this swing high. All right. On an 8-hour basis. You got it here, and then you traded back down. You found support, and then you made essentially a lower high, and you're coming back down to find support again. Currently, it looks like it is testing this last bearish candle's close or opening price at 29,3572. If this area holds as support, you can look to target this wick high up here for a bullish take profit. One at 0.383449. All right. It is trading lower. Let's go check it out on an hourly time frame, see what it looks like. It's consolidating in this area. It's not looking so hot on an hourly chart. Basically, when I see a support test, I mean, it's just because of the liquidity's thin right now. There's not a lot of people trading on Sunday evening at 5 o'clock in the day. So consolidation is inbound. Basically, you start closing hourlies above this 31.4312 level, you can start to look for higher prices. But you do want to see this swing high taken out right here. If you can't get back above this level here, then it looks like it's possibly heading lower to test this area, this last market structure swing low. But shorts will be viewing that wick right there as the target. So essentially, that's what happens when you see wicks. Like if price trades down and takes out the liquidity below there, that was the target, and the target was hit. And since so many people take profits on that position, you will kindly see price trade back up into the area and close above. That's why price trades the way it does. Kelvin, sorry, I asked you for Neo yesterday and crypto. Oh, my bad. And I did it for the stock, but you were asking about Neo USD, the crypto. Any chance you can analyze that? Absolutely, I can take a look at that. So let me see here. I don't know what. Let's see. Let's use Finex, because Finex has basically been in business a long time. Let me get off the 8-hour. So on a weekly chart, it's trading around the lows, but you have accumulated. All right. So basically, this would be considered Wyckoff, basically accumulation down here. You had your stop run, which is absolutely beautiful. That is what you want to see on a bullish ass if something's going to reverse price or reverse trend. All right. You can see how it smoked all the stops below this area first, because retail traders like to jump in front of these things. They like to just buy when it comes back in that area. Always let it do what it's going to do first. That's why you wait for closures. You got that. On a weekly time frame, you have been moving higher. All right. So Once you took out of there, you've been moving higher. This was a nice down move, and it found support, and it moved out of there very strongly. So on a daily level, you've already tested this bearish candle here, but your strength is waning, meaning you are making lower highs, which is not really that great. It's not that bad either, because it could just be making like a bull flag or something. That trend line, I don't like it. So basically, what I would say on Neo USD is wait to see if it holds this area as support. You don't have to use this candle, this body here. You can simply use this market structure swing low down here, because if price trades into this area, you're going to be right up into that candle's face. All right, so let's look for 2109 to hold as support. If you get a daily close below that area, then it's probably not looking good. It might be heading lower. Let's go into a smaller time frame chart and see if we can find a clear area to look for a support hold. So this area wasn't tested. It would absolutely be the first one I look for. That area is 20.04 for support hold. All right, a support hold. I'm not going to short anything that is this bullish in the near term, even though it is making lower highs and lower lows for now. It can absolutely turn around on a dime right here. All right, because most people are looking at this as bullish. It does look like a Quasimodo type of head and shoulders pattern. All right, so it's going to be one of those things where you just have to wait for a support test, a support hold. You start making higher 8-hour candles, might be able to get long. Base Smalley, can you look at Euro CAD? Absolutely. Let's go check out Euro CAD. All right, Euro CAD. I was trading this not too long ago. All this moved down here. It looks like it is moving higher. Give me a second here. All right, so we smoked these stops right here. All right, with this push down, which was a target. That target was hit. All right, and we have started to trade higher. Now, it's like Euro, USD, and a lot of other assets. Right now isn't necessarily a good time to look for long entries or short entries. Basically, your impulse leg to the downside here was a big one. All right, you cleared out this swing low here, and you cleared out this swing low here, which does indicate more bearishness. You did get an 8-hour closure below that last level down here, that target, but you traded out of there hard. All right, the momentum carrying you out of that area was firm. It was solid, and then you had your retest, and it found support, and it made a higher high. So currently, you are making higher highs and higher lows. It looks like right now it's trying to find support on this last swing high made right here. That level is 1.54966. So basically, man, I don't know. Let me look at it on a smaller time frame. All right, so you did sell off kind of hard. You came back up, and you found resistance, and you since came back down. But you did not close an hourly candle below this hourly market structure swing low, but you are currently moving higher. But it looks like you're not moving higher with any haste or steam. It looks like you're just drifting higher. What it actually looks like to me is it's testing this candle here to possibly head lower. So basically, what I would do is I would wait to see how price reacts around this level. I very rarely ever trade Sunday, guys. I basically wait until the New York session open Monday morning before I start to look to take trades. There are trades to take in the Asian session. Obviously, price does move hard in the Asian session. Sometimes it's just a lot of times the Asian session likes to trade in one direction, and then London opens up and it makes the market high or low and reverses. So that's why I don't like trading the Asian session. But if you get good at it, you can absolutely nail some scalps. Let's see what happens around this level at 1.54966. All right, let's see what happens. Basically, if we start trading lower, then we can target this area down here. All right, so if you get a closure below this area and you take out this hourly market structure swing, all right, any pushback up into that area, or at least into this low area here, like that. So if you trade down, you push back up into it. Any wicks through it and closes below would be a signal to target this area down here at 1.54188. All right. That doesn't mean your target will be hit, as this is quite far. That's an 83 pip move. In my experience, getting an 83 pip daily range expansion move to happen in one day it happens, but it doesn't happen a lot. Excuse me, I had to take a drink. Yeah, it doesn't really happen a lot. So let me go check out the comments. Give me one moment. The FTSE 100 from Brad FX. I wonder if you could look up copper, FTSE 100, and DAX 30 for long opportunities. Yes, sir. And ENAT, how do you know when to use the open of a red candle closing or wick to know your support or resistance? It's just the way I trade. I use the candle bodies always for my levels, not wicks. I use the wicks for targets. All right, let me just go over this real quick, and then I'll take a look at Brad's stuff for him. When I draw a line on a wick, if you're ever looking at my charts, all right, and you see a line at the very top end of that wick, essentially that is my target. All right, if I'm bullish, then the target will be to the upside. If I'm bearish, the target will be to the downside. When I draw my support and resistance levels, I use the bodies of the candle. I don't know if you use TradingView or not, but you can see this little magnet tool. Essentially, it'll snap price right to the body for you and give you the exact. For instance, this candle closed was 1.55038, and I'm looking at it up here. And then if I go over here and look right here, you can see that that is 1.55038. So if you use that magnet tool and you just basically let go of it, it'll snap it to either the wick or the body for you, like that. And I always use the candle bodies, the high end of the body or the low end of the body, to use as support and resistance, because in my experience, that works better than wicks. That's just my experience. So like here, for instance, look, if I put this line, it's just an hourly chart, so the levels don't hold much merit. But if I put this line on this bullish candle's closing price, look how many wicks you have through that level, but price closed back below it. On this candle, you barely closed above it, but that was just like a false break or a false move to make people think that it's going higher. Pro traders wait for candle closures. They don't trade on moves lower like this. Not taking this trade because in the last 1 minute and 10 seconds of this candle, it could close way up here or it could close way down here. So you can't really decide what a candle is going to do until it closes. By waiting for closes, you're basically quantifying your trading, because that is data that is not, it is not subjective. It's 100% truth. That closed, that opened at that price. There's no way anybody can deny that. That's why I use candle openings and closings for support and resistance levels. Excuse me. All right, FTSE 100. Let's go look at copper first. Let's look at the Oanda one, because I am an Oanda man. Let's get off the 1 hour. Copper's bullish. Yeah, man, this thing's been bullish as bullish can be. That was a nice trade. Whoever's seen that coming was phenomenal. All right, so you made a swing high up here. That's going to be your first area. That's going to be your top end of your range, your market structure swing high. In the last range, swing low, closing prices down here at 3.49704. The high end is 3.68520. So basically, this is your range expansion or your breakout would probably, it looks more like it's trying to trade lower. All right, so it might want to find lower support. I am not looking to short this. I wouldn't look to short this until you cleared all of this stuff out, all the way down to here, this wick low, and you get a daily closure below that, then you can look for possible shorting opportunities. All right. But I wouldn't look at it as a flat out reversal yet, because if you draw a trend line, this is why I only look to buy stuff in an uptrending market, because generally price will tend to trend. All right. It's easier for it to go in the direction that it's going. It requires a crap ton of liquidity to reverse a market. All right. So basically that's your uptrend. So you don't look to start shorting this thing until this clear uptrend that is defined by the wick low is broken. You break that and you get a daily closure below that, and then price doesn't immediately reverse out of that area. That's a pretty good indication that price is wanting to find lower areas of support and resistance. Let's go to an 8-hour chart real quick, and I'll find you levels below your current range. And this wick low down here, that would be just simply a target for shorts. First area that sticks out like a sore thumb is this one right here. Boom. All right. Let me get it up bigger here. That is going to be the first area to look for support, test, and hold if you trade all the way down here. This area might hold as support. It may turn around here and start heading higher. But if you start breaking down lows and making lower lows and lower highs, and this level also coincides with this trend line beautifully. That level's 3.33824, simply taken by this bearish candle on an 8-hour time frame right here, the November 26th candle. That coincides nicely with this. Might be a good spot to look for opportunities. Obviously, I would expect price to wick well below that area. If it's going to remain bullish, wick below, close above, to stop out anybody who's basing this as a long opportunity. That's just the way markets work. Markets move in search of liquidity. FTSE 100. It looks good. Look for buying opportunities. I apologize for that. That's what I would be doing on copper. Oh, I wrote that wrong. I spelled out the whole word. Oh, wait. FTSE 100. Why isn't that working? That is the right. Oh, there it is. No, that's not right. I can't remember that ticker. If you could give me the actual ticker, unless it is one of these. That looks like a stock. Yeah, these are stocks. These are all stocks. That's not what you're wanting to see. Let me pull up the DAX 100. I think it's the UK 100, right? Maybe. I'd be wrong. Yeah, no, that's what it is. Gotcha. All right, UK 100. The FTSE. FTSE was weak. You had this nice strong push. Instead of finding support, you have simply sold off. Now you are coming into this area here. If I just draw a trend line to show you real quick, that won't match. I'll use this one. Low to low. Boom. You did close below that Friday. All right. So essentially this could still be a bear trap because you got that closure below. So now people are looking at this as an absolute area to look for. And you close below that. So now it looks weaker than it is. So basically, if you get a bullish candle that completely takes out this candle's opening price, like if you get a bullish candle and it closes up here, then this would essentially be a bear trap. Now, it looks like this is the market structure swing low that caught it as support, right? But then you got one right below it right here too. So you are coming into an area where you have a lot of support. This first area of support, which seems to have caught price, and then this area here of support, which may catch price, and then obviously this trend line. So this is an inflection point, a massive inflection point for the FTSE. Are we going to move higher or lower? We don't know. So if you show continued weakness, this is going to be the short seller's first target at 62.48 spot 60. All right, this is the first target. This is going to be the second target. Once those two targets are met, I would assume price is going to test 61.57 spot 80, and then that would be a good area to look for a support hold as well if you're bullish. If you're bearish on this, wait to see what happens when it tests this trend line, when it opens up, or when it tests the low of this 8-hour candle. Let me go into a 4-hour candle. I know there's a bullish candle in there. There it is. So look for that as an area as resistance. So if it fails to close a 4-hour above this level, you could possibly look short. And my first target would be, well, it would have to be this one, just under current price. But that's just a structure level. That's not a target. The target is the wick low because that is the absolute lowest place price traded. So that would be your target. That level is 63.10 spot 30. Let's see. I thought could be wrong. UK 100. Yeah. LOL 36 watching 41 likes. Not bad. No, it's not. I do it for the 41 people or the 36 people or the 2 people or the 5 people. Whoever wants to hear me, whoever wants to be here, I do it for you. I don't do it for everybody else. All right. What was the other one? DAX. Is that the same thing? Yeah, is that the same thing, the DAX? Can you give me a ticker symbol for the DAX, please? I got the UK 100. He's got, I wonder if you could look up copper, the FTSE, and the DAX. So if the UK 100 is the FTSE, I don't know what the DAX is. I apologize. So just simply give me that ticker symbol and I will take a look at it for you, my man. GER 30. Thank you very much for that. I don't live over there, so I don't trade it either. All right. Let me go to a weekly or monthly, I'm sorry, so I can see what's going on a longer term with this asset. Well, that's bullish. I mean, this was the March. No. Yeah, this is the March scare. It's trading similar to the S&P 500. Yeah, even sold off like the S&P 500 did Friday or the middle of last week and Friday. All right. So you're currently searching for support. You did get a daily closure below that level. Excuse me. Let me go do an 8-hour. There we go. Beautiful. There's one. Boom. That's your area. All right. That's your first area that it's finding support at. 13364 spot 20. Simply taken from this bearish candle's opening price. Now, there's a swing low right below it, right here. So if this fails to hold, it could possibly hold there. If you're closing 8-hour candles below 13,263, this is your target. This wick, 13,044 spot 80. If you're bullish on this asset, which you should be because it looks just like the S&P 500, you should not be bearish on this just yet. Yeah, all right. I was just looking to see if there was a trend line support. Not really. Not one that I like. So basically, you want to see an 8-hour closure above this market structure level here. All right. You get that, then you can go into a smaller time frame chart. I'll show you how I operate on a daily basis when I'm looking for something. All right. So basically, you can't do it now because price hasn't formed, but this is what I mean. Let me go back to an 8-hour real quick. All right. So that's your market structure swing high level, this level here. Obviously, you got 15-minute structures there. So a closure above that level would be a good area to look for a price to pull back and find support at that 8-hour market structure. Now, when price starts moving up, if it starts moving up, you're going to have bullish candles in the mix. Those bullish candles will possibly be areas to look for support holds. So if you're bullish, look for this, let this reverse first, essentially. Let it show you that it wants to trade bullish before you do that. And then obviously your first target would be this wick high at 13,707 spot 05. Appreciate your work greatly, Heath. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate the support from all of you guys. All of you guys, man, I love it. That's the reason I do it. And in the inside of the C.T.M community, it's a phenomenal place to be. I've been involved in a lot of communities in the internet, and it's definitely the best. That's why I stayed. So I don't see no reason to leave. It's a great community, and inside that community, people learning, and I like to help. If I can help, I'm gonna help. All right, so basically that's what I'm looking at. These pairs here. Let me make sure I didn't forget anything. No, I pretty much covered it. I'll go over real quick just over to the Forex. You know what we could do is we could look at Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin did exactly what I did not want it to do this morning. I woke up and I seen that. Didn't like that at all. Didn't like that at all. What is all this nonsense? I haven't seen this chart. Oh, I'm on the wrong chart. Here we go. That's the right chart. Yeah, it still looks strong to me. Let's get rid of all the lines and start over. It looks good, man. It's testing this area here as support, which is a good area to look for support. You can clearly see those candle bodies and structures. Yeah, you didn't either. Yeah, it's okay though. I mean, it still looks good. I'm not stressing Bitcoin. I'm a buyer of Bitcoin, so lower prices, in my opinion, are better. If we can't maintain this area right here, I mean, if you get a break, a daily closure below this 3304.1678, I'm looking for this area down here because it's an untested level. This wick came down, but it did not test it. So if Bitcoin's going to remain weak, all right, then it's going to head lower. That's going to be the first area to look for a support test, in my opinion. And that's at 26,842 spot 64. Now, I know I'm going to have a ton of people comment and saying, well, that's a 36% pullback. Yeah, it is. I didn't say it's going to go down there. I'm just saying if it starts to, that would be the first area I'd look for a support hold. I don't like this big long wick on the daily candle. The 8-hour looks better, and that really looks better. I mean, because this is your daily market structure here, but you can see it's also coinciding with this 8-hour market structure swing high. You caught price there. You've traded back below it a little bit, simply testing this last swing high, and you're maybe moving higher. Maybe it wants to stop out these people before it moves higher. Maybe it wants to go lower. Welcome to trading. Welcome to trading. Yeah, I'm good. I like Bitcoin. Like I said, I would have liked to see it move higher, but who wouldn't? This could just simply be a retest, guys. It's still trading nice and strong. I mean, you're not breaking any shorter term time frame. Like, you could draw trend lines. You can always draw trend lines, but trend lines are subjective unless you're drawing them right. I mean, and is people drawing them right or not? It doesn't look like it's trying to come out of here with any strength, but it's Sunday. It's Sunday fun day. There's not many people trading. Not as many that's going to be trading at, say, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Look at silver market just opened. All right, let's go check it out. See what it's doing. Oh my God, look at that. Woo! Nice. Thank you, bro. That's beautiful. We were looking for this thing to move higher. We got a nice strong push. Loving it. Look at that. That is a breakout. Now, will it stay up there? Who knows? Who knows? Looking good, man. I mean, if you just look at that price action, this structure is very, very good. Now you're up here making higher highs. So you're continuing your bullish structure. If we get above this and stay above this, man, it is going to, I believe it's going to go high because this is a huge breakout area. Huge breakout area. When I had this trend line here, all right, a few weeks ago, I was telling everybody to look for this breakout here. And we were looking to trade that, all right? And this up here was like our first target, and this was our second target. And you can see once we broke out of that, we hit both of those targets. And I strongly believe that this is something similar to that. It is breaking out of that new trend line that was made. That's why price action is always changing. So it's okay to make new trend lines, new supports, new resistances. You know what I mean? Price is trading good right now. This is nice. I love it. I love it. Then calls are definitely Darren Marshall. What would be your criteria for choosing options over a normal trade position? Thank you. Excuse me. My criteria is basically, it just depends, I guess, on the share price, how leveraged with stocks. I can't trade the XAG USD in America with Oanda. I know that you guys across the pond can, because you can trade this as a CFD. We're not allowed to trade CFDs in America legally. I mean, obviously you can get a VPN and do all that, but legally we're not allowed to do it. So the way I trade silver and gold is through stocks. And I like to use options because they give me more leverage, because my stock brokerage account will only give me 6-to-1 max leverage. So if I want to go 6-to-1 long on XAG USD with, say, 1% of my portfolio, options give me a better ability to maximize the profit potential, because the options are priced differently than just spot price itself. Spot price itself is spot price. All right. And you can only do 6 times better on a position move. Whereas an option is priced with direction, time, and various other things that all will increase the price of the option. So an option, just from an increase in volatility, how fast did it move, yada, 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 can make an option. Whereas I would have only made 6 times on the initial position, I can make 100x on an options position. But a lot of people look at options as gambling. And in most cases, the way people use them, it is. However, I never buy more than my initial risk unit, the same risk unit I use to trade every asset, which is 1% of my total account equity. Leverage silver ETFs. Yeah, it's true. You can do it that way too. I think there's 3-time levered ETFs on silver, possibly. And with your 6 times leverage on that, you're looking at a 9-time levered position, which is pretty big for stocks. Stocks are a whole different ball game. What do you think of AGQ? It did it again. It's very gappy. It doesn't look like it has much liquidity. Oh, it's probably got a lot of liquidity. It's a stock. Stocks are gappy. Well, first and foremost, depending on what happens with silver tonight, if it's trading where it's at now or higher, you're going to have a big gap up on this thing tomorrow morning. All right. You're going to be gapping up over this swing high here first thing in the morning. If price is trading where it is now or higher. All right. So let's just put this on the split screen real quick, just so I can show you what I'm talking about. Let's go over here and get silver. Remove all drawings. All right, so this is a daily chart. I go to a daily chart here as well. You can see how you're trading over this swing high. This thing tracks silver. So whatever silver does, this thing is going to do basically about the same. So you had that bearish close on Friday, Monday. If you're trading above this, you're going to have a gap up above that 55 spot, 45 area, which would be a good spot to look for a retest. Possibly get long. If gap closes, then yeah, man, this thing is strong. Strong. Yeah, silver and gold used to move the same on the same direction. Yeah, that's due to hedge funds and everybody like that. Basically, they control the flow. They control the orders. They have a lot more at stake than we do as retail. We can get in and out of these markets really quick and easy and nimble. They can't just dump $50 billion into silver, because they have to wait for a price that looks better to them, essentially, more appetizing or appealing, you could say, for them to get long. Now, the reason gold and silver trade about the same is because usually they're taking profits. When they're taking profits out of gold, then they're also taking their profits out of silver, or capital rotation, where they're rotating money out of gold and silver into less riskier assets like the Japanese yen or whatever, Silver and gold is looked at as a hedge against US inflation. So, you know, a lot of people buy and just hold gold and silver. They're not looking to sell it anytime soon. This is beautiful. I love it. Yeah, it's a shame that gold isn't moving as strong as silver. Look at gold. Just not doing nothing, nearly nothing, not compared to silver. That was a big move on silver. Boom. Big breakout. Big, strong breakout. Loving it. All right, guys, I'm going to call it. I appreciate you guys for showing up. I appreciate you guys for liking the video. I love it. You guys are you really make me happy. I appreciate every one of your kind words, and the comments you leave in the videos are always great. I mean, you guys are fantastic. I'll do anything I can to help you. I want to see everybody succeed. I don't want to see people fail at this. There's so much nonsense out there, but it's easy to get turned around. But if you're here or watching Jordan's channel or my channel, you're in the right spot. So with that, I'm going to say good night, guys. I got to start watching these markets. Got to start looking to get these things situated. I will see you guys first thing in the morning in the chat room. People pay for this level of info. Thanks again for empowering the community who not well off but want to learn. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's who I do it for. That's why I'm not shilling a bunch of nonsense. I'm just giving you straight up info. You can use it to possibly change your life. Yeah, and it's free. Always will be. With that, I say good night, guys. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.